BMW has been in the electric car game now for more than 6 years, with its i3 battery electric car, BMW i3 range extended electric car, and BMW i8 luxury plug-in sports car holding the reins at the head of BMW's push to make a transition away from fossil fuels and towards electricity. And while the transition path that BMW has taken may not be everyone's cup of tea, BMW has opted to use technology developed for its i-brand vehicles to electrify its mainstream models, turning them into plug-in hybrids rather than fully electric cars. BMW has become increasingly committed to the idea of an all-electric future for the brand. While the i3 and i8 have helped get the BMW brand into the electric car marketplace and served as a technology incubator for new construction techniques, design and telematics systems, BMW has been pretty clear about where it goes next: to bring EVs into the main BMW brand. These new electrified BMWs, as opposed to those made under the i-brand moniker, will have more conventional designs and be constructed with more conventional materials. And they will be targeted not to early adopters and electric car fans, but to mainstream car buyers. In the last year or so, BMW has hinted at what we can expect through a series of concept cars, including the BMW iNEXT electric SUV. And while most of them were clearly in the concept car phase, BMW said these vehicles showcased what we would see in an all-electric model from BMW in the near future. The first all-electric plug-in to wear the BMW badge is the BMW iX3, a compact crossover that's due to hit the roads later this year in China and parts of Europe. But earlier this week, BMW surprised us all with official photographs of winter testing of what it's calling the BMW iNEXT, an all-electric model that is due to enter production at the Dingolfing facility in Germany in 2 years' time. And unlike the iNEXT prototype I was able to get up close and personal with at CES 2019, this pre-production test vehicle seems to have a lot less concept about it and a whole lot more substance. But will it offer everything that customers want? Based on what we can see of the prototypes and what BMW has promised thus far, I think it might. Let's deal with the design changes first. And yes, I am sorry that there's no video here of the prototype in testing, only official BMW photos. Unlike the iNEXT concept car, which had a huge chunky set of wheels and a very angular design, the iNEXT prototype seems a lot more toned down in terms of its design language, a lot closer in fact to current X5 designs. That might be because this photo could possibly be a test mule built on the current X5, so we probably shouldn't focus too much on body design here, as there will inevitably be some changes before production starts. But given that the iX3 is meant to be BMW's electric version of the X3 and it's coming to market this year, it's entirely plausible that the iNEXT we see here is eventually going to be an all-electric variant of either the X5 or the X7. Given the proportions in this photo, I'm leaning towards the former rather than the latter. In the plug-in marketplace, looks are particularly important, as while many early adopters like the idea of buying a futuristic-looking vehicle which screamed its eco-credentials from afar, your average car buyer is looking for something a little more understated. And as Tesla has borne testament to with its Model S and Model 3, customers want a car that looks good as well as performs well. BMW has reiterated that the iNEXT, I'm going to keep using that name, but I expect it will be rebranded before production, will become a flagship of the company moving forwards. And that means, just like the concept car of the same name, it will probably come with a suite of autonomous vehicle technology. At least that's what BMW is saying thus far. It's hinting we'll see level 4 autonomy from the iNEXT, as well as a fully connected in-car and telematics system. But unlike the technology demonstration at CES this year that I witnessed, I'm doubting BMW will have full in-car level 5 virtual personal assistants to take over the duty of driving for you. Interior-wise, we can be certain the weird concept car interior of the iNEXT has been replaced with usual BMW levels of interior design. Although it will be interesting to see if the gesture-based iDrive system that's been hinted at in the past will remain. BMW has said the iNEXT will be all-wheel drive with a battery pack underneath the car. This should leave room for a front trunk, but I'm going to leave the jury out on that one too. Either way, if it's X5 sized, luggage really shouldn't be a problem. let's turn our attention to other things, namely range and charging, at least what we know at the moment and what we can infer from what's been said. In more recent months, BMW has kept pretty tight-lipped about the range of the iNEXT, although back at the start of last year, BMW was apparently branding about a range target of 435 miles per charge. At least, that's according to Motor Trend. However, given that 300 miles is 482 kilometres and it's super easy to get miles and kilometres muddled up, Mercedes-Benz, I'm looking at you, I'm going to stick my neck out here and suggest that a target of 435 kilometres is a much more realistic figure to expect, which, as it happens, is about 270 miles, not far from the 300 miles that BMW has said the iNEXT will have at other points in history. That said, it's also worth noting that the BMW X5 S-Drive 35i, one of the X5 models that I'm assuming BMW will look to slowly phase out in preference to electric models, gets just about 460 to 480 miles on a tank of fuel. If BMW really is looking to replace gasoline with electric, maybe it really is shooting for 435 miles of range. As to charging, the one noticeable difference between the iNEXT prototype and other BMW electric cars we've seen of late is the absence of any front charging ports. The iX3 had its charging points just in front of the driver's door. I can't see any on this prototype, although it may be hidden by camouflage. We know that BMW has been working on wireless charging technology and has promised it for the iNEXT, at least when it was mentioned and the concept was unveiled. But my Occam's razor to all of this right now is that the prototype photos that we're seeing here is likely of a test mule for drivetrains built on top of an existing X5. And that would certainly explain the weird flap that you can see on the rear quarter panel in one of the photos, which of course is where a gas filler cap would ordinarily be. On a production model, I'd expect we'll see a CCS quick charge port up front as it is on the iX3, complete with 350 kilowatt charging capability. As to price, well, I'd expect this model to hit the market at no less than $40,000 to $50,000, perhaps pushing $60,000 depending on trim levels. It'll still be out of the price range of most people, but it may be enough to get many current BMW drivers plugging in. What do I think of this all? Well, I'm glad to see BMW shift towards more conventional models for its electric lineup, but I'm also wary that we shouldn't tie too much into the looks of this prototype, given there's a high probability it's just a test mule. I think most people will be happy with a range of around 300 miles, but the further BMW can squeeze in, the more market segment it will capture, especially with 350 kilowatt DC quick charging. But that's me. What do you think? Let me know, as usual, below. That's it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.